Before we begin this project, I'd like to point out that this isn't a full walkthrough tutorial. This pattern is advanced, so I'm going to assume that you already know how to tie your knots. But don't worry, I will share the grid pattern somewhere in the middle of this video. Hi friends, and happy Easter! Not only is this macrame bunny super cute, but it was a little challenging. It has 4,920 knots, and it took me probably about 2 weeks to finish. And when I say 2 weeks, that is from designing the image, pixelating it, and tying all the knots. If you're interested in designing your own pattern, I have a tutorial for that. I'll link it above. And similarly, if designing your own patterns is not your thing, no worries. If you have a pattern request, drop it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and attach all of our rope onto our lead rope. And as you can see, I ran out of space on my macrame board. Luckily, I have 2 boards, and that worked out just fine. Now, like I said at the beginning, this is not a full tutorial on how to tie each individual knot. I'm going to assume that you already know how to do that. But if you are new, I do have several tutorials on how to do pixel macrame. Feel free to go check out my macrame pixel playlist. Most of my pixel tutorials are step-by-step instructions, and you will totally get it. It's just one knot that you need to learn. I do suggest starting off with a smaller grid pattern with not too many colors involved. The larger the pixel pattern and the more that you need to swap over colors, the more difficult it becomes. So just keep that in mind if you're brand new and just starting out creating macrame pixels. With that being said though, I've been creating macrame pixels for many years now, and even I get overwhelmed at the very start. It takes a couple rows to really see the pattern and feel a bit more confident. Spring is my favorite season. I always feel so much happier when all of my trees are starting to get leaves and the flowers start coming out and the garden is just coming alive again. And every year I seem to create a new macrame bunny pixel. It's really become a tradition for me around Easter time. I really appreciate traditions and routines. If you've been following me on Instagram at all, you would know that my family has gone through a lot in the last few months. It really makes me appreciate taking some time and being slow and doing my gardening and doing arts and crafts with my kids and just really appreciating all the traditions and time spent with my family. Right before Christmas, we lost a friend, and I think about it all the time. I think about his kids. I think about myself. I think about my mortality. I've been really upset lately. Working on my art helps. It's like therapy for me. Aside from the loss, my son went through some pretty significant dental surgery, and I, of course, pulled my back sometime in the middle of creating this wall hanging. I'm okay now, but I feel like that was a sign to maybe slow down and focus on my family and focus on my health. Which is funny because every time I slow down, I always end up being more creative. My kids and I made this really cute banner that goes across our fireplace. All it is just regular plastic Easter eggs that you find at the dollar store, and you thread some rope through it, and it turned out really cute. I didn't even have to punch holes in it, they already come that way. And of course, you've probably seen my little chick egg holder. Whether you celebrate Easter or not, I'm curious to know what traditions you have around springtime. I know I, for one, love gardening, and we're planning a huge vegetable garden this year. I also get really into baking this time of year. It's always the spring and fall that I love to bake, which is funny because those are my two favorite seasons. I hope you enjoyed this Easter and spring. I wish nothing but the very best for you, and I'll see you in the next video.